supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
Good morning, everyone. And thank you again to Chris, Francisco, Brett, Tony for inspiring us with your music this morning. My name is Jeff Bashram, and I am the technical director here. And I know it's not usual to see me on stage hosting. I am glad to be back in this role after 3 years of not hosting a service, so thank you all for being here today, and welcome. And thank you also to our live stream viewers. We're grateful that you're sharing this time with us online. And live streamers, if you love watching us online, please consider sharing us with your friends by clicking the share button at the bottom of the screen. That helps us share our services and our community with the world. And I'm just going to take a second here and acknowledge the live stream team that I work with every Sunday up in the booth up there producing the live stream. So thank you all, Greg and Lyle and Seth and Cindy. There's a whole crew up there today. So thank you for your hard work this Sunday and every Sunday. If you are new to the center and have questions about what's happening here, we have a website, CSLSR.org, and it's filled with useful information. There you'll find our monthly bulletin by clicking on the photo of the typewriter on the website, and it contains everything happening throughout the month at our center. If you're new and you're wondering what we're all about, please pick up the blue welcome packet, which I have here as a handy prop. These are on the welcome table in the social hall. And it contains information about who we are, our teaching, and what we have to offer as a community. And if you would like spiritual support around something that is happening in your life, we do have an active community of licensed prayer practitioners who are available to pray with you today after service. These prayer practitioners are also available to do spiritual coaching on a fee-for-service basis. And you can find out more about that from our prayer practitioner pamphlet also on the welcome table in the social hall. Parents and grandparents, our youth and family program has reopened for newborns or toddlers, elementary or middle schoolers, and teenagers. Our program helps your children and grandchildren get plugged into our community and grow on their spiritual journey. Talk to our youth coordinator, Jennifer Caldwell, after service to get plugged in, or you can send an email to her at youth@cslsr.org. The Youth and Family Program runs primarily on volunteer power. Each Sunday, at least 6 volunteers are needed to ensure our children have enough adults to guide and care for them. Please consider donating your time to the youth program. Just 1 or 2 hours of your time once a month is a great help in providing our children with their own spiritual sanctuary. Now, would you please join me in speaking aloud our vision and mission as a community? The Center for Spiritual Living is a spiritual community that promotes global transformation through personal transformation. Our purpose is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence. We are motivated by a compelling vision of a healthy, loving world, which we call the global vision. This vision inspires us to bring the gifts of kindness, compassion, integrity, and loving kindness to the world through our programs and teaching. Together, we are helping a world that works for everyone. And we follow this vision through the 5 core spiritual practices of our teaching. And would you please read those aloud with me? Spiritual study, affirmative prayer, meditation, selfless service, and spiritual circulation. I know that somewhere between the music, the meditation, the prayer practices, and Reverend Russ's excellent message today is exactly what you need to experience for the next step of your spiritual unfoldment. You are welcome here. Now please enjoy some music before our short time of silent contemplation before our opening prayer.
I listen to the part of me that knows my path is laid before me, showing me which way to go. I needn't wonder if I'll be guided home. Every choice along the road, God will always show when I listen to the part of me that knows. Won't you sing along? I listen to the part of me that knows. My path is laid before me, showing me which way to go. I needn't wonder if I'll be guided home. Every choice along the road, God will always show when I listen to the part of me that knows. I listen to the part of me that knows. My path is laid before me, showing me which way to go. I needn't wonder if I'll be guided home. Every choice along the road, God will always show when I listen to the part of me that knows. I needn't wonder I needn't wonder if I'll be guided home. Every choice along the road, God will always show when I listen to the part of me that knows.
There is one life, one perfect expression that we call the divine, we call love, we call it God. And that life created everything, including each and every one of us. And there is a life that lives in us, that part that the song says we listen to. It is in each and every one of us, whether we're here in the sanctuary or online. There is only this life, and we share in it. So I claim for this service that there is understanding that brings clarity, that there is a sense of peace that overcomes misunderstanding. There is joy that takes the place of fear whenever we're listening well. So I bless each and every one of us for whatever there is that this service speaks to. And it speaks with the very voice of the infinite. So I bless this service and everyone who has done anything to make it so. And give grateful thanks to all volunteers for what they do and what they bring. And so it is that I can easily and lovingly give this grateful thanks and allow this prayer to be complete and alive in each and every one of us. And so we can join with it by saying together, and so it is. Amen. Good morning. My name is Kathleen Kearney, and I am a prayer practitioner here serving the center. Will you join me in speaking the affirmation up on the board? I passionately and boldly share my purpose with the world. So it is.
Now is the time when I let go of my fears, inhibitions, and sense of dread. When I give up control and I let you hold me with no resistance in my soul. Sing that with me. Now is the time when I let go of my fears, inhibitions, and sense of dread. When I give up control and I let you hold me with no resistance in my soul. This is the day when I throw it all away to the fire of the all-loving one. Now I have just what I need to be free, to feel who I really am. This is the day. This is the day when I throw it all away to the fire of the all-loving one. And now I have just what I need to be free, to feel who I really am. Here is the place where I fall into grace and release into the sweetness of your love. And I surrender and I remember the light and the beauty that I am. This is the day when I throw it all away to the fire of the all-loving one. Now I have just what I need to be free, to feel who I really am. This is the day when I throw it all away to the fire of the all-loving one. Oh, now I have just what I need to be free, to feel who I really am. Now is the time when I let go of my fears, inhibitions, and sense of dread. When I give up control and I let you hold me with no resistance in my soul.
Good morning. It's so wonderful to be here with you as we start our September journey exploring this thing called love. You've heard of that thing, right? Yeah. And specifically, we're going to be focusing on the idea of self-love. Now, you might have seen today's talk title. It's called I Love Myself So Much, and I'm going to invite you to rename that talk title today to The Power of Self-Love. And that'll make a little bit more sense as we get into this. But to help illustrate self-love, I've got two stories to share with you. It's a tale of two Russes. And the first tale goes like this. It starts about when I was, I want to say around like maybe 19 and a half years old. I was in my second year of college, and I had just changed my major. I thought I was going to be a computer programmer and write video games. Little did I know that my brain doesn't work that way. And so I became an English major instead. And that time of my life was very interesting because I was coming to grips with the fact that I didn't have very much confidence in myself. I actually fell into a bit of an existential crisis in my second year of college, to the point where I was experiencing this really deep depression. And it's the one time in my entire school career that I actually failed a class. And that class was gym class. Now, don't ask me why UW-Oshkosh had this policy, but it didn't matter what your major was, what you were trying to do there. Everyone had to take gym class before they could graduate. Apparently, there was some administrator there who really was passionate about physical fitness. So, as I was really struggling during this time, I was finding myself, having a really hard time showing up to classes. And of course, well, the gym class that I didn't want to go to because all we were doing is swimming, that's the one that I chose, well, that was the one that I ended up not going to. And it just started to spiral out of control. And I noticed that pain coming up in me even more and even more and even more, to the point where it comes to a night before I've got this big exam due. I think it was a midterm exam. I can't remember what class it was for, where the stress of it and the depths of my lack of confidence in myself, the pain that was going through me, led me to think that I was having a heart attack. So I had one of my friends take me to the ER, and luckily, because ER doctors are amazing, they're like, you're not having a heart attack, you're having an anxiety attack. And so, they gave me some IV fluid, they gave me some drugs to calm me down. But that really came to a head in the sense that in that entire journey there, I wasn't able to love myself. I didn't know how to love myself. And I suffered the consequences of that. Now, contrast that with Russ 2.0. And many years later, after I'd graduated from college and I actually found my way back into IT work, just not doing computer programming. Instead, I was doing, server administration, things like that, which fit me a lot better. It's more like being a mechanic, right, than having to write software, and I was really good at it. And I found myself working at Chicago Public Schools in my 30s, and a couple of years into my job there, which was my dream job at the time, our central office decided that it was time to move to a new location. And we were all for that because one of the jokes that we had on our teams was, oh, I only saw one cockroach today. That's a good day. The building was not very good. So they bought a building, and we were going to move to that building. And part of that move meant that we had to move our entire data center that served the 500, 600 schools for Chicago, and all of the teachers and all of the students that had all of their software, all of their data in it. It was a big deal because this was a multi-million-dollar data center. It was huge, it was air-conditioned, and it's like one of those data centers that you would see when you're watching a movie about a bunch of hackers hacking something with a bunch of blinking lights. It's really cool. So we got to move it, and we got to move it over Christmas break because, well, that was the best time to do it because all the kids are off school, all the teachers are off school, all the administrators. But here's the kicker. We had 3 days to move this multi-million-dollar data center. And that meant moving hundreds of physical devices that had thousands of servers and terabytes of data, which is a lot. It's a lot of data. And we had to get it right the first time because the expectation was that when we were done, everyone would be able to log on to their systems and it would all just work. Yeah. No pressure. So by the time we got our stuff to the new location, well, we had already encountered some pretty crippling problems. One of our contractors, we said, hey, don't unplug all of the network cables, just cut them because we're going to rerun them anyway. It's one of the things that you do when you're in that level of IT is you cut your cables to length because everything looks cleaner, it makes it easier to troubleshoot. So they did that. They did exactly what we told them to do. They did it a little bit too well because they also cut some cables they weren't supposed to cut that were very expensive that we then had to order on the spot at a premium that delayed the entire thing. Now, my role in this project was one that would have come in probably right way at the end because all the hardware had to be hooked up first before my team could do our stuff. We were responsible for making the systems that let you log into stuff work. So we can't do that when there's a bunch of cables that don't exist. So what this turned into was an exercise in figuring out the problem and figuring it out from a place of possibility. Now, the good news, and this is where the difference comes in. At this point, I had also been exploring our science of mind teaching for a few years. And through that teaching, I was able to access something within myself that even though I distinctly remember there being some 24-hour-long days to get this done, I noticed that I was moving through this project in ways that I didn't think I was going to. I thought I was only going to do my one thing and my team were only going to do that one thing. But something came alive in that moment that allowed me to step outside of what I already knew and to open myself up to being of service in ways that I hadn't dreamed of before. And so the good news is that we got the project done, and we received the highest praise that you can ever receive from a principal at the end of a job like this, and that's, hey, did you guys do the data center move? I just logged in and everything's working. So do you see the difference there between those two stories? The difference was the fact that I had found my way to that self-love that's within me. And that self-love sustained me and empowered me and inspired me to not just allow myself to grow, but also to help my team to grow because I was their manager at that time. That's the power of self-love. That's why I'm so excited to share this with you today because when I found those Science of Mind teachings, it opened me up to something that was inside of me that I never knew was there. It put me in touch with my inner wise self. Self with a capital S. You might call it spirit. You could call it our inner divine, our inner God, whatever word works for you. But it's that part of me, it's that part of you that is naturally compassionate and confident and caring. It's clear about the world. It's courageous. It's calm in the midst of adversity. It's incredibly creative. And it is connected. connected quite literally to everything. So when I started to explore these teachings, what really blew my mind was this idea that the love that I had been seeking for most of my life was not something that I was ever going to get outside of me. It was always right here. I didn't have to go anywhere. Just like, those times when I forget where my keys are and it turns out they're in my pocket. And what I learned is that I didn't have to generate or create this love. I just had to get my own defenses, my own fearful parts of my mind out of the way so that that love could more easily shine through. And one of the places where I learned this was in our Foundations of Science of Mind course, which is one of the core classes that we teach here at the center that's taught in centers across the world. And that class taught me the core spiritual principles that our friend Ernest Holmes shares with us. He's the founder of our movement, if you're new here. And in those core spiritual principles, the underlying idea behind them all is that there's already this unconditional love at the center of our being. Now, this week, I'm starting to teach Beyond Limits, which is sort of the cousin of Foundations. It's a different take on presenting those same spiritual concepts. And if you find yourself inspired to dive a little deeper into your own self-love, I would love to see you in class on Tuesday, because that's what we're going to be exploring, how we can unlock that inner self-love and allow it to inform us, to inform the way we show up in the world. And so I'd love to have you in class. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Now, for example, one of the concepts in that class that we're going to look at is love itself. What is love? What is this universal spiritual love that we talk about in our movement that Ernest Holmes shares with us? And, well, Science of Mind teaches us that love is one of the fundamental creative forces of our universe. In fact, our founder, Ernest Holmes, tells us that love is the self-givingness of the Spirit through the desire of life to express itself in terms of creation. Ooh. And he goes on to say that Emerson, and he's talking about philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson, Emerson tells us that love is a synonym for God. We are also told in the New Testament that they that loveth not knoweth not God, for God is love. Love is free from condemnation, even as it is free from fear. Love is a cosmic force whose sweep is irresistible. Ooh, sends chills down my spine. So what I've learned for myself through the Science of Mind teaching is that love is constantly making connections through the power of its creation. And because I am a creation of this love, because you are a creation of this love, this means that we are always connected to it. And through that love, we are connected to quite literally everything. We don't have to go and get love because we've already got it. It's already here. And we are proof. Our existence is proof of that. But then I have to ask myself, why is it that sometimes I don't feel that love? Why does it sometimes feel really elusive? And the answer for me is that it's a matter of where I'm placing my attention. You see, I grew up with a lot of childhood experiences that led me to wall off my love, to put walls around it. Because as a child, it didn't always feel safe to share that love with the world. In fact, sometimes it would actually feel dangerous. And so I ended up locking it deep inside of me, so much so that eventually I forgot that it was even there. And so that's why today, I want to turn around that phrase that's our talk title, I love myself so much, because I believe that that sets up an unrealistic expectation for us. Because that word I is in there, immediately that means that that I is coming from ego. I love myself so much. And what I know for me is my ego's not super great at loving. Anyone have that experience? See, my ego thinks often that it knows how to love, but it's not very good at it. It stumbles a lot. It makes mistakes. And sometimes it feels like it's trying to conjure that love up from somewhere that it doesn't even know where to get it. And so it ends up willing its way through loving in the ways that it thinks it's supposed to love. Now, the good news that I found is that we don't have to have our ego be that source of love, because really it's not ever going to be very good at it. Instead, what I've found is that because I am one with this divine source for creation, just as you're one with this divine source for creation, and because that divine source of creation creates from itself, from its boundless, endless love, then love is not something that I have to get or impose on myself. The reality is all I have to do is get my own broken beliefs, my own fears of that love out of the way. And once I do, I open myself up to the natural flow of love through me into the world. I don't have to know how to love then, because that spiritual part of me, that core of my being, already knows how to love because it is love. You see the difference there? I can see you thinking about it. Self-love then becomes a love that comes from that part of me, that core of my being that's naturally compassionate and caring and loving, not just for the world around me, but also for myself. It actually knows how to balance the two. For me, it's the difference between an effortless, boundless, infinite love and maybe slightly smaller and more limited love that my ego likes to wrap up in conditions, like, I will love you if you do this thing for me. Now, what does that boundless love look like? Well, for me, it's a love that gives me energy even in the times when my brain, when my body tells me that I don't have any. It's a love that connects me to the world. It's not a narcissistic or self-centered love, but rather it's a love that opens me up to connect to the world and to the people around me. In fact, when I'm open to it, I find myself less concerned about the things that my ego is afraid of, that my ego thinks are important, and I find this deep peace when my ego is able to relax and not worry so much. It's a love that drives my curiosity, and it gives me courage, and it opens me to see all the possibilities in the world, especially in those challenging times when it feels like there aren't any possibilities at all. It's deeply creative. It's so creative that this is the love that makes the soil of the earth fertile by connecting all the nutrients in that dirt to the seeds that are in it, those seeds that are so full of potential. It's the light that shines down upon those seeds and the water that feeds them, that turns them into something so much more than they began. Love unlocks that seed's potential. It's the love that bonds the very smallest of atoms together, creating something more with each new combination. It's a love that moves planets and stars and entire galaxies. Whew. And when I tap into that inner love, in that moment, anything is possible. So today, I'd like to share a meditation with us, if you're willing, I hope you are, that I find particularly helpful to find my way back to that inner self-love, especially in those times when it might feel hard to access it, to get in touch with it. And what I find is that self-love then brings healing to those parts of me that are not doing so hot and that might be afraid of that love. And so now I invite you, if it feels comfortable, to go ahead and close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath. Just settle into the rhythm of your breathing. And take this moment to simply turn your attention to your inner love. Know that that love is there. And because we're all different, maybe it feels big and it's easy to get in touch with it, and yeah, that's great. Or maybe it might be small, but nevertheless, there is the spark of it there. However that love shows up for you, place your attention upon it. And just take note of how it feels to witness that inner love. And now I invite you to check in with that love as though you're talking to a beloved friend and ask it, is there anything that's getting in the way of fully experiencing and expressing this love, your love, in the world? Is there perhaps any part of you that is afraid to allow that spark of love to grow and to expand? And allow that love to inform you now. And you might notice that your love shares with you parts of you that are in fact afraid to allow more of it into the world, and that's okay. That's what we're seeking to find out. And so if you do hear about those parts of yourself, what you can do is you can invite that love to share of itself with any part of you that is afraid to let it express more deeply in the world. Allow your love to share its healing nature with any part of you that's fearful, that feels stuck, that maybe feels unworthy. And know that this inner love, in the face of this inner love, there can only be healing. And so I invite you to take another deep breath, breathing in and out. When you feel ready, come back to the room. You can open your eyes. That love is within you. It's always there. And it can be accessed at any time, especially in the times when we're really challenged and when maybe our mind isn't so good at figuring out how we're supposed to love. So this growth of self-love is what I wish for all of us, for you, for me, for the world. And so I hope that you will continue this practice in the days and weeks to come. Because I know that the more all of us are able to live our lives from the depths of that self-love, that love that comes from our wise and brilliant and beautiful self, that is what brings healing to the world. Healing that I believe our world is asking for. And we get to be that. Isn't that wonderful? So, shall we take that into prayer? Okay. There is only one life, one presence, one power, one creative source of everything. It is life itself, it is love itself, it is that divine one that through the power of its love creates. It is ever present, and I know myself to be one with it, just as each and every person here in our sanctuary, on our live stream, in our community, in the world, we are all one with this infinite creative love, this love that is the center of truly everything. And I place my attention now upon that love as it expresses itself in me, knowing that this expression of love is mirrored in all of us. And I invite that love forth. I invite it forth for myself. I invite it forth for each of us to shine forth and to bring its healing energy to any part that feels fearful, that doubts, that is uncertain about the world. Knowing that in the presence of this love, there is an expression of courage and creativity and compassion and loving kindness. And I allow these things to fill me up, and I invite each of our hearts to fill us up with that divine good. To allow that wholeness and that oneness and that perfection to be our default state. Knowing that even though the world might share challenges with us, in the face of those challenges, love always, always, always finds a way. And so I invite each of us to cultivate a deeper relationship with that boundless, infinite love at the core of our being, knowing that the more we invite that love in, the more it grows and expands and enhances our lives. And so I am grateful for that. And with this gratitude, I release this word into the action of that law that always says, yes, my beloveds, yes. And together we say, and so it is. Okay, so now is the time of our service where we get to practice that spiritual practice that Jeff told you about called spiritual circulation. And one of the ways that we can engage in that is by giving financially. And here at our center, we've got a number of ways that you can do that. The first is text to give. I use it myself because it's so easy. And you just send a text message to that phone number with the dollar amount. I like $1 million. That's great. And it will automatically deduct that from your account once you get it set up. So it's very fast and easy and fun. We also have online giving at cslsr.org/donate. You can mail us a check. A lot of people like doing that. We will pass the baskets today as well. And we have auto giving that you can sign up for over at our information desk. And if you give electronically like I do, we have these little giving coupons here so that when the baskets do go around, you can participate. Because what I find is it's helpful to have that energetic exchange, even though I might have just digitally sent my money to the center. And so these are really wonderful to put in there if you give electronically. So before we pass the baskets, I invite you into our offering ritual. And go ahead and close your eyes if that feels comfortable, or lower your gaze and just tune into that love. We just tuned into it, so hopefully it's fresh, and allow that love to fill you up and to infuse whatever gift that you give, whether it's financial or you're volunteering or just your positive regard for the center and its community. And as that love infuses your gift, I invite you to repeat after me. I bless my gift. I send it forth to heal and prosper. It does wonderful work in the world. And so it is. Ushers, please receive the gift.
Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument of peace. Won't you sing that with me? Here we go. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument of peace. Where there is hatred, where there is hatred, I will love. Where there is sadness, I will bring joy. Where there is darkness, I will shine. I am an instrument of peace. Yeah, I am an instrument of peace. Take it, Francisco. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument of peace. Make me an Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument. Make me an instrument of peace. Where there is hatred, where there is hatred, I will love. Where there is sadness, I will bring joy. Where there is darkness, I will shine. Yeah, I am an instrument of peace. I am an instrument of peace. Last time, here we go. I am an instrument of peace.
So thank you again for all the gifts that you share with us. This community exists because of you. And also, can I say, Francisco, man, you can shred. Let's give some love. So now is the time of our service where we get to hear about all of the awesome stuff that's happening at our community. So I'm going to invite Jeff back up to tell us all about it.
Thank you, Reverend Russ. Can we give Reverend Russ another hand for his beautiful message today? Okay, lots going on today. Sharing Our Bounty is happening today. If you don't know what this is our monthly event where we share our garden produce, our baked creations, and joyful community with each other. It's open to everyone, whether or not you brought something. And new this year, we invite you to bring non-perishable food items to donate to the Redwood Empire Food Bank, one of our nonprofit partners. The bin for those items is at the entrance to our social hall right outside the doors here. And speaking of sharing beautiful creations, our teens have created art that they have donated to the center to help fundraise for their upcoming winter teen camp. and we have a slide, or maybe it just went away. But be sure to check out their art at the entrance to the social hall. If you would like to purchase one of the beautiful works of art, fill out one of the silent auction flyers on the table below the art pieces with your bid. We'll tally all your bids and reach out to the winners by September the 30th. And this Wednesday, Reverend Russ will be conducting our Wednesday evening service at 7 p.m., where he will share accessible spiritual practices that anyone can do to develop a rich spiritual life. We'll have teas, goodies, of course, freshly baked bread, and beautiful music. And don't forget to bring your friends. And as Reverend Russ mentioned in his talk, he will be leading the exploration of the science of mind teachings in our beloved class called Beyond Limits. And it starts on Tuesday, September 5th, that's this Tuesday, at 6:30 p.m. If you are new to the center and wanting to get a deeper understanding of the science of mind, or perhaps you've been with us for a while and would like a refresher, this is the class for you. You can sign up by clicking on the photo of the Nautilus shell on our website, and we're also going to offer this class in our hybrid format, so you will have the option to join either in person or online. Our bookstore has another raffle that you can participate in. We have a beautiful Buddha statue, just coming up on the screen here, and you can enter to win. Check it out in the social hall and get your raffle tickets in the bookstore. And please note that our offices are closed tomorrow in observation of Labor Day. Finally, we have a new art installation in the social hall by our very own board president, Randy Coleman. Take a look after service today and say hello to him if you see him out there. That's all from me for now, and I wish you a wonderful week. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. There's a lot going on, and it is now time to close out our service. But before we close out, if anything is challenging going on in your life, or maybe you're struggling like I was when I was back in college, and you'd like some prayerful assistance, I invite you to take advantage of our after-service prayer offering. We have our wonderful practitioners over there at the corner white table. They will direct you to a practitioner who will know that truth for you to help you to find your way back to your own experience of self-love. We also have, after this service, online prayer that you can access at that link there, cslsr.org/Zoom prayer. So I hope you will take advantage of that. So it is time to close out our service, as I mentioned. So I invite you to stand if you are able and it feels comfortable, and repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind, life is in my body, and life is in my affairs. I think it, I feel it, and I accept it, just the way that it is, and just the way that it is not. Thank you, life. Please know with me that you are never alone, that Spirit is right where you are, that you have only to look within to know that you are guided, sustained, and empowered by a love that expresses itself as you in this world. In deepest gratitude, let us live our lives accordingly, so that in everything that we do and say and think, we honor this boundless love within. And so it is. Thank you for being here, and have a wonderful week.
May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. And may I be happy. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. And may you happy. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. And may we be happy.